This is the 20th season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, Aftco, Pro Guide Batteries, Spro, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Denali Rods, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we are going to talk about bass fishing. Joined in studio for what, the second time? Is this the second time you've been in studio here? Justin Hamner?
Yeah, I think so.
Bassmaster Classic champion?
Yeah. It's like a yearly thing now, right?
Come here. It'd have to be a yearly thing. I would like to say that I have had you in studio before you were the Bassmaster Classic champion.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but you didn't have me talk. I was nobody. I'm joking, man.
I'm pretty sure I did.
You did twice.
Yeah. And then you went on to have, I would venture to say, the greatest year of your young existence.
No doubt.
Like life, fishing, family, finances, everything. Like 2024, it is December 18th. This is our last live regular show of the year. We have Frank tomorrow, and then Mark Menendez talking about the Elite Angler Board of Professionals next Monday on the 23rd. But I mean, take yourself back 365 days to December 18th, 2023, and what was life like for Justin Hamner then? It was still pretty dang good.
It was good. Just like the second half of last year was going so good. Like, it was a momentum building deal. Like, it started getting really good, and kind of hated that the season stopped when it did. But dude, I don't know. I got to fish so much last year. Like, the whole off season I went more than I've ever fished
Before the Classic.
Why? Because I finally didn't have another job.
Okay. Yeah, we had talked about that.
Yep. So didn't have that other job, and I could just fish. Didn't have a newborn. Don't make that mistake unless, you don't need to fish as much. I love him.
I feel like you need to reword that as someone even who doesn't have any kids. It changes.
That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah, it just changes.
What's your second, right?
Yeah, it's a second, but first one, there's a lot going on. Now I'm actually able to be with this one more, help my wife out more. That's good, but yeah, just trying to be there.
I remember you had talked before. So before you came in, you were like, dude, I remember you said last year, and you didn't even say it on the record. You were like, I had a couple companies and I wasn't expecting this, that were like, here's X amount of dollars, just keep doing what you're doing. And you were like, oh my God, like I wasn't expecting this. And at the time you didn't know like what it just meant you didn't have to like worry as much. Right.
Yeah. I could actually fish for a living.
But that decision, and it was multiple companies.
Yeah.
But that decision, and it was based on your performance previous, so it wasn't like it wasn't unearned. That decision actually freed you up. Do you think that's what led to potentially your success throughout the year, competing for the Angler of the Year title and winning the Bassmaster Classic and going into it worry-free?
There's no doubt. I've never even thought about it like that. Only you dig deep, don't you?
Do you want to name them? Like, even if you're with them or
American Baitworks is like, they were literally my first company. They were the only sponsor I had my first year. And it was not much, but there was nobody else that even knew my name. Like, they were the first ones to take a chance on me. And it's just every year keeps getting better and better, and freaking love those folks.
Yeah.
Those are good people.
So prior to 2024, they were like, hey, here you go. Yep. And you were like, hell yeah. Don't ask any questions.
I can
cash the check.
Like, what is it? Yeah. Because I'll just be straight up. Like, that's one thing that I've always struggled with, is like getting that. I don't know. I'm not good with asking for money. Mm-hmm. I've always been like I don't know, got to work for your own stuff. And then it's like, all right, I'm asking these folks for money. Am I really worth it? Like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I won the Classic, and I'm still like, am I'm worth all this.
Mhm.
Like, I hope I am.
Full
Trying to make
disclosure,
myself.
I mean, I'm paying $2,500 for you to be here today, and you
I
made me
thought it
pay
was
you
5.
before.
Yeah.
Oh, Bass Tank's taking care of the other half.
Yeah, that's right.
You made me
Sorry.
pay you before we went live. That's why we
Yeah.
were a minute late.
Yeah.
In unmarked bills.
Yeah, didn't you just get back from Mexico?
Yeah, I did. I remember when that deal was going around the internet that Milliken was charging everybody like thousands of dollars to do podcasts and interviews. He might have been. I never.
He was making bank then.
Yeah, it's a joke, folks.
Maybe we need to start charging.
I don't know. It would be so. Anyway, so yeah, walk through 2024. So did you have like good vibes? Like now let's look at hindsight, right? Did you have good vibes going into the 2024 season, or like you knew
there was a
going
different
down?
Confidence that I've never had? Like just like I said, I think it just goes back to being on the water every day, being on the water, going fishing. So, I mean, I literally spent so much time just learning different baits. I spent days where I would put like 6 glide baits on the deck, and that was all I'd throw all day.
On Smith or on lakes across Alabama?
The river back home, like
Coosa?
Warrior
River.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. That's a little secret. But I smashed.
Is that where Swindle's originally from?
He's from Warrior, Alabama, but this is the no.
Oh, okay.
No, it's the Warrior River. It's like comes off of Smith Lake.
Okay.
So if you were to go below Smith Lake Dam, it goes from there, and then runs down through literal down Tuscaloosa.
Really?
Keeps on going, then it kind of like splits and turns into the Tom.
You gonna have a
Big
severed
fish.
pig's head on your doorstep for mentioning it?
Maybe. Like, yeah, you don't talk about that. We had the biggest
You
spot
just
bass.
did.
We had the biggest spot of
But
bass.
you're still talking about it now.
It's a stupid. I think this year I've caught like 9 or 10 over 6 pound spots on glide baits.
Holy smoke!
Yeah, like it's fun.
What's your glide bait of choice these days?
Dude, that clutch.
The one that's the
clutch
long
darter?
one, or like the
That clutch
gizzard
darter.
shad one?
The gizzard shad one's good. Like I've caught some big largemouth, but no, the herring one is what it's made for. I think spotted bass killer.
Dude, I got one when I thought I was going to fish the open on Hartwell that got moved, and I got it off of I don't know, some website that had him. It was a vintage. I think it was Justin Kimmel.
Yep.
So it was a classic marketing deal. I had seen it. They'd gotten it in the hands of, I think, you and Polinick and a couple other guys. So it was on my radar. And then it was a limited drop that I saw on his Instagram story that was like, it goes live in 2 hours. And I was boom right there. I paid like $280 for it. Never talked to anybody, didn't know anything, full price. And I'll show it to you afterwards.
Can I have it?
You can buy
That can be
it.
my price.
You can buy it
What? Okay.
for a lot. I kind of want it. Like, I mean, I got it because I figured it was the one.
It's pretty good.
I saw that whole group just went to Bacharach with Pro Bass Adventures. How'd you not get an invite to that?
I did.
You got an invite to that? You didn't go?
I had a kid December 3rd while they were there. And it was like a planned deal. Yeah. That hurt. Don't bring that up. It's a sore subject.
Do you do anything to those? The herring darters or whatever they're called to make them like right. It has never even been in the water. It's in like one of those like foam cases that's like on the bottom and the top.
Yeah,
and I've got my what are the other glides? God, I'm losing my mind in my old age.
There's a lot out there.
No, the ones that look like the shads that started all that Spro works
Oh, the
with.
KJB.
Yeah.
Chad.
The Chad shads. How did I forget that? I've got my Chad shads in there, and then they're actually not mine. I rent them. I literally rent them.
You rent them.
I rent OG Chad shads
From who?
Juice.
Oh my God.
When you make that kind of money on hair jigs, you can afford glides.
See, my problem is I go through too many. Like,
how do you go through?
Oh, I wear them out. Like
docks and stuff.
When I'm talking about, like, I've had days where I've caught like 40 to 50 on the glide bait one day.
But no, you got to hook me up with that clutch darter. So when I was in Japan, I'm just name dropping all the places I've been this year.
You're so cool.
they had the decoy soft lead wrap. And I've always seen like all the cool swim bait guys always have like the lead wrap on their hooks. So I bought every gauge of lead wrap that they had. Okay. You use and then all the like lead strips, golf strips, and all that stuff for them. Yeah. So you might have to hook me up after this.
Yeah. No, that stuff is good though. I use it a lot on jerkbaits and stuff too. Like I don't know, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It ain't coming off like the stupid little the peel and stick
the suspend dots.
Yeah,
and the suspend strips.
Suspend strips. That's what I used forever.
Yeah.
But actually I started taking that suspend strip, wrapping that on the shank of the hook. So that way it's not messing with the action, because it'll always like a piece of it will flip up if you have it on the back or something, and it starts making it run weird. But yeah, just
have you messed with that lead wrap on the hooks?
Yeah.
Doesn't affect hookup ratio, or it's like just a
no, just do it thin. Don't make it so thick and like bulging out to where it takes away the gap. So if you got a big enough hook, obviously don't matter as much, but like that clutch is like a number 3 or whatever. Yeah. Number 3 hooks. I think it's 2 on front, 3 on back. Anyways, be careful with that one, not to do like too much, but that's like the only tuning you really got to do with those. Just get it weighted right.
What I think made me buy it, like I said, this is a lesson. This is like there's like a college course here, and because I see a lot of stuff, and then I have access, just like that. But that was one where I was like, "Yep, no, that's worth my $300." There's like a drone shot of, and I think it was Polinick. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Where like there's like a lay down, and then he's in the derby and he makes the cast, and you see that dart. I don't know anything about clutch or the swim baits much, but you see that darter like going like that past the lay down, and then you see like the 6-pounder come out, like notice it, and then just charge it and just engulf it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That was literally where I was like, okay, I need one of those.
Over and over. Just, I don't know. Those drone shots are so cool. But yeah, like what's so cool about it is the way you work. Like, don't ever use a rod tip. Don't like try to do all that. Just with your reel, just toot, and you can hit, and it just, gosh, you can work it so fast.
I've got the old school blue aluminum heavy ass Revo winch on my glide bait rod right now. What reel should I have on there?
Dude, I don't get that.
Like
crazy
gear ratio.
I mean,
is 5.50 too slow?
Oh yeah.
It's too slow. I need to.
I throw 8.
You throw an 8 on your glide? Really? Does that just help you?
I'm bringing it.
So you're not you're making them make a decision with it.
I'm pissing them off. Now, I like a lot of times this is spotted bass, but I've caught a bunch of largemouth. But once you get their attention, it's just like when you're jerkbait fishing. Like, heck, minnow. When you have them start slowly coming up, and then you start to like play the whole cat and mouse. As soon as they start coming up towards that glide bait, and you start hitting it a little bit harder, it gets momentum, and then just do real quick to lose their minds.
And then are you light line or heavy line?
20
fluoro.
Yeah.
Not mono.
No.
20 fluoro, 8.3.
Yeah. Just
normal bait cast rod on that big bait. You're not throwing like a big wide spool.
It's not that big of a bait.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's like a 7-inch or whatever, but it casts so easy, and it's just, you can pitch around dock so easy. I like to be able to make more precise casts instead of, I mean, I'm not just bombing it out there on brush piles and letting it sink. And no,
Am I keeping
like
that
going
in the
down
box
the bank
until
with it. Yeah.
pre-spawn now? Or will you bust that out in the winter ever?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like 40-degree water?
Yeah, what does that matter?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's typically up towards the top, really.
Yeah. Huh. I'll weight it a little bit more, probably.
But fish it still aggressively.
Yeah. Like, I think that's one of the misconceptions we've had. Unless it gets like stupid cold, yeah, it don't matter. How many, like the whole buzz bait in the wintertime deal, whatever, when it's snowing.
It's like one time in the 80s and everybody talks about it.
Okay.
Now. They just reposted that on Bassmaster.
Yeah, but it still happens. But I'm not talking about that. But like, fish are more aggressive than we give them credit for in the winter. That's some of the best
Did
days.
You know before you were able to see how they reacted that they were aggressive?
Yeah.
So you would catch them like that,
Yeah.
just blind fishing them.
I mean, obviously not the darter or whatever back then, but like, yeah, I can't sit still that much.
You're in Oklahoma, not to visit the BTL studios, but that's because the bass tank is about an hour away from here.
Yeah.
And you are getting rigged and ready to roll for the 2025 Bassmaster Elite Series season. How far do you want to go into your setup? I know it can only be one transducer. Are you running backup stuff? I mean, I know it, basically what are the guys doing in your world, in your opinion, to get ready for 25? You have to take off a lot of stuff. You have to add a lot of stuff. I mean, it's not the inches thing. I really don't think was that as big of a deal as it thought. You had to take the power brakes off.
Yeah. Had to take those off.
Disappointed in that.
Yeah, I like them, but like I'll be straight up. I didn't use them for like the second half of the season.
See, that
because I
blows
was
me
too
away.
scared. Like I took them off.
You were too scared because you thought people
Yeah.
would be like, "Oh, I saw him cast and drag his bait back."
Yes.
Oh,
I didn't even
that.
Dude,
If you know you're not doing anything
Do you
wrong,
know
I
what
used
all
the
that happened
crap
last
out
year?
of them in the second half of the opens. I used them exclusively. I intentionally used them more.
Just to piss people off.
Oh yeah, I'd show up to the freaking open takeoffs wearing all my power brake stuff.
That's awesome. No, I just didn't even want to be part of that crap. It just took myself out of it.
Do you want to talk about how you're rigging this year, or do you want to just wait?
Oh, it's gonna be sick.
Is it?
It's to me, it's not gonna be that big of a difference. Like I did have the 2 transducers last year, the one in perspective.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wish they'd have kept it all just because I think it confused more people. All the people that started having just so much going on.
Do you remember
There's too much to look at.
Do you remember when Jordan Lee put the 2 on the back and then wrecked him the first day he had him on there?
That sounds about right. Shout out Jordan. But you know what I mean? Like it's going to simplify the live scope. Mm-hmm. You have one transducer to look at, one screen you're looking at. One
approved transducer.
You're not confusing yourself looking at 12 different screens.
Are you carrying a backup with you? Like, are you going to have 2 black boxes in case one goes down?
Yeah, probably. That's a good idea.
So that's a yes, or
yeah.
Probably.
I'm going to have one with me. I'm thinking about mounting it. That Falcon's got a lot of room, so I'll probably mount it. Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then LVS 34.
LVS
barrel
34,
or shaft?
What's the fish obsessed mount?
Okay, so the 0 degree.
Yeah.
What is do you know exactly what the difference between a 0 degree and like the normal 34 bracket is?
Yeah, it's that when you're taking that angle out. So that's one thing, like with the 34, it like kind of catches more off the side, if that makes sense. It's like a narrower cone than the 32 was, but it like catches more. Like if you're going down the bank and you have a boat dock over there and you're like pointed towards the middle, it's going to start catching some of that. Whenever you 0 it up, it's just you lose a little bit more of that.
So the way I've explained it before is, and you're not a golfer, are you?
No.
A fair amount, like you understand it. The basics, right?
Like,
so it's the difference between like cavity backs and like blades. The cavity back's going to be a little bit more forgiving. You're going to be able to hit it a little bit more off of the face and still stay in the fairway. But when you pure a blade, it's going to be a lot better, but your margin for error is smaller.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Because I mean, like when you're seeing something, you're freaking.
But if you are not good at knowing exactly like lining up where you're casting with where it's pointing, you're going to see your stuff less on a 0 degree than you are on a one that has a little bit of an angle to it.
Yeah.
But you know, when you line up that cover or structure or that fish and your bait, that it's on it.
Yeah, you're on it.
So it's like an 8 degree deal on the normal. It's like a 2 or 3 degree deal on like a 0 degree or 0. It's just
I thought it was 0.
Yeah. Well, it can't be 0. It's got to be there has to be some sort of.
I don't know. Me and Scott sat there for 30 minutes just staring at it, making sure it's like perfectly straight. But
have you been on the water with it yet?
No. So beat down, they actually had to like custom make my mount for this graph. It's gonna be bad.
You don't want to talk about the graph yet?
I mean, it's just watch for the videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what most of the guys you think will be running this year? Or?
No, I think I'll be the only one.
Huh.
Yeah, and I think it's an advantage. I think it's a big advantage.
An unfair competitive advantage.
It might be an unfair competitive advantage.
Kidding.
How good it's going to look.
I say that joking. So I recorded probably one of my favorite shows of the year yesterday. It was really, we actually went like an hour and 30 minutes. I forgot to run commercials, everything, with Mark Menendez that'll run on the 23rd about the Elite Angler Board of Professionals.
Okay.
That was just announced. Your thoughts on that? Like, what is the general overall consensus of the Elite Series guys, the guys that you talk with, run with, good, bad, indifferent on this board that then kind of works with the head guys, Chase Anderson, the guys at Bass, to make things happen?
I think could be one of the best things that's ever happened for bass fishing, honestly. Like, now that we actually the stuff that happened during the off season, when they would release something, there would be like the whole information rule that just kind of got slid in with the electronics thing, and then everybody freaked out. We got it overturned. It's going to keep that kind of stuff from happening, but it's basically now we have a seat at the table, and it's going to be everybody on the Elite Series puts up their vote. It's not like one person's being able to decide anything. Everybody goes in their vote. It's majority wins regardless. And now we got to say so. So
it is great. A 6 angler panel.
Yep.
John Cruz, Mark Menendez, Lee Livesey, Drew Benton, Alex Weatherall, and Ben Milliken. And I think the key is it's got rookies, sophomore. It's got guys that are all different levels on it that are representative. And then each guy, like if you have a suggestion, a beef, a question, then you can bring it to your guy. MLF does a similar thing with the BPT.
Okay. Yeah.
But you bring it to your tribal leader, whatever it's called, and then
Lee's my tribal leader.
One of the things of talking to these guys that seems to be key is everything is a vote right now, to where it's not just like, it seems like most guys are like this, and then you can railroad stuff. Like everything is a vote that will be made known what the results of that vote are, because that group is completely independent of BASS. It's really Chase and Bassmaster that said, okay, we're going to recognize you, we're going to work with you, but it is not part of Bass at all.
Correct. Yep. It's completely us. Like the whole payout structure. Like we voted on that 4 or 5 times, like just to keep narrowing it down to what the majority of people wanted. I think that's awesome. And then like for the rules changing stuff, like there's some different, just like the way that some of the rules are worded, we got changed just to take any of the stupid like workaround gray area kind of crap, trying to take that stuff out. And like, I think it's pretty cool just because we sent them the results for the payout structure, and then Bass like, yep, this is it. Okay, let's do it. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Mark kind of goes into in-depth on Monday on how you guys kind of came up with that payout structure and how many different options you had and the voting that you went through to get to it. So that'll be a good show. All right, we'll get back to the fishing here.
Mark will be way better for that.
Yeah, no, he's been doing it for like 34 years. I'm not asking you about details. I know better.
Yeah, I just like to fish.
We'll take our first break of the show. When we come back, get back into the fishing. I want to dive into the Angler of the Year race, because kind of coming down to it, it was like, holy crap, Hamner's going to win the Classic and the Angler of the Year in the same season. So I want to talk about those last 2 events on Champlain and the St. Lawrence. Justin Hamner in studio to wrap out the 2024 season of BTL on December 18th. We'll be back right after this.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS.
This is Gamakatsu's new Nano Alpha line of hooks. If it looks familiar, that's because they are. It's the same shapes and sizes in the round bend and the EWG and in the new Horizon head that you know and love from Gamakatsu, but there are a couple new features with this Nano Alpha, which is this little green label that you see on the packaging. First off, 2 times faster hook penetration. That's because of the Nano Alpha smooth coating on it, and also it is 4 times more corrosion resistant. Check it out, Nano Alpha.
I've been using Sunline Shooter for the majority of my career. Millions of dollars made, lots of bass caught, and the gnarly, gnarly stuff. If you need a abrasion resistant, tough fishing line for the really, really mean stuff, Sunline Shooter is for you.
Beatdown is efficient.
Rock solid. 100% American made.
This thing is super tough. I mean, this thing is not going anywhere.
I've ran the Beatdown double stack from Florida all the way up to New York. And the one thing that I know is when I get to my fishing destination, I never have to worry about issues with my graph mount.
Your options are endless with these mounts, but they're steady, they're solid. These are the most reliable mounts on the market, and you can't go wrong with the Beatdown.
When you're ready to hit the water, Denali Fishing has you covered. Regardless of your skill level, from beginner all the way up to tournament pro, Denali has rods, reels, and tungsten to get the job done. Check them out at denalifishing.com.
All right, welcome back. Detail on a Wednesday with Justin Hamner. Hey, if you're watching live, we have a lot of people in the live chat right there. So this is a Justin Hamner Bass Tank autographed hat, and there are a number of those at the Bass Tank because I don't mail things out very well. So we have the go-ahead from Scott Palmer, owner of the Bass Tank, to give away 2 of these Justin Hamner autographed Bass Tank hats that'll come to you from the Bass Tank. And then what were you saying? I don't want to get that wrong. What were you saying about? Do you even want to?
I didn't screw that up. Screw it.
He didn't say anything about this to me. He said the hat giveaway. So if he said it to you, that's all on you. But you also won the classic, so you kind of got him where you were right where you want.
Yeah, if it's not a thing, it's about to be a thing. Yeah, whoever, if the person wins and they're a Bass Tank customer,
meaning they've purchased anything from the Bass Tank to where they can go back through, and if your name's Jim Smith, it's like, oh yeah, Jim Smith bought some screen cleaner, marine electronic screen cleaner from the Bass Tank last year.
$100 gift card to the Bass Tank. Yep.
All right, so
everybody go buy some screen cleaner real quick.
Yeah,
just to make sure you're in
it. You've got probably about 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'll star the question. So if you have a question for Bassmaster Classic champ Justin Hamner, get it in now, and I'll star it. And then in the last segment, we'll do rapid fire questions, and then we'll do one random question for a hat, and then we'll also pick your favorite question for a hat.
Okay.
And if you are a Bass Tank customer, if you purchased something from the Bass Tank previously, additional $100.
Yeah.
How's that sound? All right. So your season was nuts. 14th to kick things off at Toledo Bend, 3rd at Fort, 26th at Harris Chain. You had a 55th at the St. Johns River. Then you went 16th, 9th, and 10th. So going into the last 2 events of the year, you had that classic win in there. You were right in the mix for Angler of the Year, looking to become the first guy, I believe, since Kevin Van Dam to win the Classic and the Angler of the Year in the same season. talk a little bit. I haven't talked to you since then. Talk a little bit about what that chase was like. Did you feel pressure on it? Had you already had a good season regardless and it was what it was? Or was that something that you really were like, my God, this is probably a once in a lifetime shot?
The last one. I hated it. Dude, that sucked.
What sucked? The pressure or the fact that you didn't do it, or
both?
Really?
Like the whole year, like I didn't have any pressure. And then for whatever reason, like, so, you know, before our last 2 tournaments, we had the ICAST and it was like, oh, this is what, 2-month break or something stupid. And I had just like back-to-back top 10, and then we stopped. We have ICAST, we have all this break, and I don't know, I guess all the excitement built up. So I was leading AOY heading into the Northern Swing, and yeah, all those stupid, oh, you'd only be the 3rd person to ever do this. Like, it'd be you, Van Dam, and Mark Davis. Like, oh crap, I gotta do this. Yeah, it got a little pressure. Yeah. And that's all anybody wanted to talk about.
what about in the house? Like, you roomed with Patrick Walters and who else?
This year is just me and Pat.
Did he mention it? Like, was he talking to it about it? Like, dude, like, I'll give, if I find it you're not, like, I'll hook you up. Or was it like, did you guys just not talk about it in the house?
I mean, we talked about it, but it wasn't like if I find it, I'll give it up kind of deal. Like, I don't know. We kind of treated the last 2 tournaments the same. I mean, didn't really change on that part, but I don't know.
Anything you would have done
go
different
into
at
fishing
Champlain
details.
or Lorraine, at St. Lawrence or Lorraine?
St. Lawrence was, yeah, the St. Lawrence one. Like, I mean, where Corey won is basically where I fished. I was just fishing shallower. And I mean, so making 120, 130 mile run, whatever it was, one way, and you get there and you have 2.5 hours of fish, you better be on them. And first day pulled up, I mean, caught whatever it was, 22 pounds in like an hour. Gave myself plenty of time to go back and just chill. And then day 2, I pull up and it's like an algae bloom up shallow. Like the water was like that murky, cloudy, weird kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't go out to eat. It was just dumb on my part. The fish were still there. I just couldn't get them to bite. Like, there were some giants. Like, first day of practice had 28 pounds. Just trying to like get away from them.
Oh, that was the last time I had you on the show, isn't it? Didn't you catch like no, that was Kyle Patrick who caught like a 9-pounder.
Yeah. Oh, you did have me on during practice.
Did you catch a 9-pounder?
No, that was Kyle.
But I had you on too, didn't I?
Yeah. Just to like talk about practice, I think.
Yeah.
And about, oh, you'd be the 3rd one to ever do this.
I mean, I was trying to be like chill with it. I'm not trying to put pressure on.
Everybody
I mean,
was good with it.
If you have like a reason to follow it and you're chasing history or something, you know what I mean? Like, that's a reason to like tune in. You gain more fans. You got people rooting for you.
Oh, it was great. I'm joking about all that.
I know, but I mean, that like, gives you more publicity, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Dude, I don't like publicity. I like just fishing.
Have you gotten used to that better? Have you gotten better with?
Oh, yeah. Dude, yeah. Like,
has that been difficult since you've won the Classic to embrace it, to walk into a room and be like, and I'm not saying this to like pump you up, but to be like, I'm the man. The people want to talk to me. Like, I have to project myself. I have to talk. Mm-hmm. The aw shucks thing is who I really am. But like, sometimes I have to like step up and represent Bass and the companies and the brand. Like, has that been, talk about that?
Probably the hardest thing for me. I don't know why, but it's like the whole feeling like, yeah, I'm the man crap. I ain't good at that. It's so tough. But yeah, they like, especially like some sponsors, they expect me to come over here and like do this stuff of running, like whole talking with everybody. Mm-hmm. I will talk one-on-one with everybody. We're best friends and just 2 guys that love to fish. But when it comes to getting in front of a crowd and like, yeah, I ain't good at that. I don't know. I ain't good at that.
We got some. We have some people that are angling for an autographed hat on here. We'll get to it in the second part.
What are y'all offering?
Yeah,
Anybody got any good private ponds?
I'm not gonna let it. I'm not. I'll show. Here's just a sample. See if you can tell who this is from. Hey, Justin. Hypothetically, if you're trying to escape from a jail cell, would you methodically burrow through the walls or try to build a relationship with a guard, asking for a friend?
Burrow through the walls. I don't want to add somebody to this situation. It's hard to trust people. Yeah, I'm burrowing. Prison Break style.
Would you care to guess who asked that? You may or may not know. And think about it. This is a question you should be able to get because you can't see a screen.
Was that Scott?
No.
Okay.
You fish against him. Hypothetically, you're trying to escape from a jail cell. Would you methodically burrow through the walls or try to build a relationship with the guard, asking for a friend?
Kyle Patrick.
No.
I have
Come on.
no earthly idea.
Ben.
What did he do?
That was good stuff.
What's going on with him?
So what's going on with him is, from what I've heard firsthand, is probably going to last a while, right? Like it's not by the time they get to it and stuff. So, I mean, he's able to provide updates and talk about it, but there's a lot of different layers and agencies and people and timing and things that are going on with that behind the scenes that it'll all work itself. I feel like, after having talked to him at length and a couple other people, it'll all like work itself out in the long run.
Okay, good. I honestly have no idea. Sorry if I just threw that question out there.
No, it was good.
Everybody keeps asking me like, what's
I talked about it before. Like, could he have avoided it? I personally feel like, yeah, but I also feel like there's some stuff that like you learn as you go, right? Okay. So there's a lot more. Like, think about Ben. Like, yeah, he was the YouTube guy for how many years? I mean, that's how he built his following. It's the most organic following in the industry. Like I talked about it. Like I
thought this was his first year on YouTube.
Well, that's on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I respect him, is like the dude grinded for years and years and years and has
grinding.
the freaking, I know, but he has the receipts to show it in the videos. Yeah. That's why like John B and those Guggen guys, like, I mean, dude, like they were doing unboxings when they were like 10 years old and they just never stopped. And the hardest thing to do in fishing or in life or in job or anything, in my opinion, show up, put out content consistently, and not change who you are.
Yeah.
And Ben has done that from the beginning, but then there's a whole nother mega spotlight on you once you become an Elite Series angler. Would you agree with that? Like, especially like once you won the Classic or even once you made the Elite Series, like people watch and follow. And I mean, I don't know what that's like, but I mean, I've talked to guys and it's like, do you feel like a spotlight, like do not do anything wrong?
Yeah, that goes back to why I took the power brakes off. Like there are extra spotlights, and I can only imagine how many spotlights was on him. Like there was so much when he just came in, all the hype around him and everything like that. And then, I can imagine. And he's a little polarizing. Like
100%. That's how he makes money. Yeah, is the polarizing.
So
stuff.
That just adds fuel to the fire on some folks to like try and burn him.
But
out.
you felt that, like you have felt that as an angler, like when you're on the water, like you have to
100%.
And that's just the price you pay.
You go over the top of making sure you're doing the right thing.
Yeah,
no doubt.
And if you're just a year in and you have all that, like it's easier to make mistakes when you don't have a massive spotlight on you and you're like, okay, that's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
But when you come in and it's just boom.
Jeez, all these rookies got thrown to the fire this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that was another thing that just brought so much more on them. It's like guys were looking to try to get anything that a rookie was doing. Sucks that he was in that group. Sucks for all of them guys.
So What would make 2025 successful for you? Like, what would you deem a successful 2025 season?
Win Classic in AOI.
That's
Like,
it for the rest of your career now. That's
that's
how
what I'm
you're going
going
to
for.
gauge a successful season.
I want an AOI real bad. Like, I like the Classic's the holy grail. No doubt about it. Like, that is freaking amazing. But, like, AOI is just different, dude.
What did you learn about your AOI run this year that'll help put you in the mix for the AOI in years to come?
So it doesn't get talked about very much, but that 55 at St. John's River was the biggest day of the year for me. I was in 102nd out of 103 after day one. And then I freaking swung for it. But I won the Classic. I'm good on points. I don't have to worry about it. I'm going swinging again on day two. Because I was like, that's the only place I can think of to go to try to come back. And yeah. So being able to take those chances like that, and that just like really made me realize if you're going to go for it, freaking go for it.
So how does that relate to a club guy, a BFL guy, a Toyota guy, a guy who's fishing the opens where, you know, you have to be consistent to win Angler of the Year, but you almost just did both and you're saying go for it.
Yeah. If you're aiming for number one, probably going to be in the top 10.
Well, are you going to zero more too?
You have that chance, but then like I literally swung for the fences.
What does that
deal.
mean? Explain what that means. What are your options? I hate that's
yeah,
the most overused term. So explain what a swinging for the fences means when you're going through an entire tournament.
Not going to a backup plan to salvage the day, in my opinion. When you go to a tournament and you practice for 3 days, right? You have places that you can go. All right, I can safely get a limit here. Yeah, probably do pretty good. Throw those out the window.
You don't even look for them, or in practice.
I know you're going to come across it just trying to find, the winning spot. Probably, like, I don't think I ever like go out trying to look for that.
But you're crossing it off the list because you don't think it has winning or top 10 potential.
Yeah, I'm not wasting 30 minutes of my day doing that. I'm going to try to catch the biggest fish every time.
But let's say you don't have a spot where you think you can win or top 10. Then are you going to make the best out of what you have found, or are you going to go searching for something and hope you find it in the tournament? I think that's the bigger thing. Like, what if you found 12, 13 pounds, but you know it's going to take 15 to 18 to win, but you never even you don't have any confidence in anything that, hey, if I grind on this, I can catch you. You see where I'm going with there, Justin?
Yeah.
Do you go and make the best out of that and say, hey, this wasn't a week I could win, let's maximize what I have found? Or do you still scrap it and say, hey, I know I can't win off of that. I might not catch anything, but I'm going to trust that I'm going to run into the winning fish during competition. That's where I struggle in the opens. I think that's where a lot of people struggle.
Okay, I don't think I've ever. I'm sure I have, but it never. That mentality of I don't have the winning fish going into a tournament. I always feel like I got the winning fish.
You've never gone into a tournament just like
this sucks, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah, you've never gone into a tournament like that on the Elite Series, that where you're not on them. You just never
all the time. I'm not on them. Like, I've had terrible practices,
but you're
this
confident
year.
You can figure it out during the tournament.
More open to expanding, and I think that was one of the biggest like growing things for me, was not just trying to make the best out of the little I got.
Yeah,
is not afraid to start somewhere that I've never.
Example.
Fork this year, dude. I caught I think it was 2 fish the first day. They were like 2.5 pounders of practice.
Yeah.
Second day was like, I think I caught 4, and the biggest one was 3 pounds.
Were you trying to catch them?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My God, Patrick wasn't like, hey man, like
Patrick was struggling with me.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
we were both
So
struggling.
you guys were like, oh my God, we're.
Yeah.
No, you weren't because you're Patrick Welch's and Hamner.
Well,
so
yeah.
you're saying we just
So-
haven't found him yet. Like we're closer to figuring it out.
Yeah. All right.
You're not freaking out after 2 days at any point then. Like it hadn't crossed your mind like, you know it's going to take 40 a day.
Yeah. I'm like, what are we? Yeah. Me and him actually were kind of slightly panicked about that one. Just like we did not know how to get a bite. Like legitimately. The final day of practice, I caught one and I think Patrick caught 2 or 3.
Okay.
I caught 1 3-pounder, but I went into like one little area and I saw like 2 big ones looked like on a tree. I'm like, if I can just figure out how to get them to bite, like that'd be cool. So I started like right there on them. Wasn't happening. Went over to where like I did see a couple on bed, but we had that big cold front.
Mm-hmm.
It's like maybe they pulled off the beds or whatever, and like caught an 8-pounder, caught a 7-pounder, ended up catching 11 out of that pocket. Like
Just because you saw one in there on the last day.
I
of
saw
practice.
one that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Same way with the classic, that creek where I pretty much won it out of.
Mhm.
I saw one follow my bait. I caught a 2-pounder in there. It's like a spot. And then I had a tree and saw a big blob follow my jerkbait. That was it.
Are you used to being called the classic champ yet? Or, I mean, has it sunk in yet? Actually, like, is that part?
It has
part
now.
of who you are.
Yeah. It's pretty freaking cool. It's sunk in now.
What's the difference
like-
between Justin Hamner pre-classic champ and Justin Hamner now post-classic champ 6 months?
I'm not broke. Thank God. I can support my family. Like straight up, that's been the biggest thing.
Has
for
that
me.
helped with sponsor deals going into 25?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big time.
Like, in basically,
stupid.
like, have you turned companies down, being like, hey, like this section is
Yeah.
closed to me, and they'll be like, well, what would it cost? And then,
Yeah.
really, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy. Like, it's nuts. I can provide for my family. Like, we're about to build a house, and yeah, it's weird. Always being so broke that you couldn't like do anything, and now it's kind of bad because my 5-year-old little girl, like, I ain't never been able to buy her like all the frivolous things or whatever. Dude, I spoil the crap out of her now. It's
What's
a
a
problem.
frivolous thing for a 5-year-old?
This stupid little Barbie doll that she sees when you're walking through the Walmart or whatever. And I was like, yeah, go ahead, get you 2 things. Let's go.
Have you I know there's like a lot of guys who like invest in fishing companies. Some know about it, some don't. Is there any, like industry stuff that you have been like, yeah, I'll do that, but I want a piece of it?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
That's you don't have to talk about it. I'm just curious because that's like a lot of the guys who are either well off or have made their name.
Yeah,
There'll
off
be
the, like,
have
royalties and stuff.
a little silent piece of that company to
Oh,
where
okay.
yeah, that's what I'm talking to, where they own a piece of that company to
That's pretty
where
cool. I didn't
as
even-
they promote it and increase the value of that company,
Yeah.
they're actually increasing their value of their portion of that company. So instead of, just getting their piece and making more money for anyone else, they're actually still making money for
Okay.
themselves.
See, I'm just learning this kind of stuff. Like, obviously, like royalties off of stuff, like my rods that are about to come out and
Mhm.
stuff.
You got rods coming out.
Yeah.
Can you talk about it?
They're sick. Yeah. I mean, it's Halo, but yeah. They're
Is it
gonna be
has there been
nice.
like an announcement on that yet?
I don't know. I mean, I've talked about it much. They were at ICAST, like the prototype, actually. So if anybody felt those
And
rods,
that's part of American Bait Works.
yeah, yep, American Bay Works. Yeah, I mean, they're not like out yet, but because even like after ICAST, I was still changing the rods because I'm picky when it comes to rods,
Yeah.
but especially my jerkbait rod, like, I had to get that thing dialed.
What are the specs on your jerkbait rod coming out?
611.
Short, fairly
Well,
average.
so Yeah, I'd put more. I made the handle a little bit shorter, so it's got, like probably took like a 7 foot, cut an inch or inch and a half off the handle.
That's what would make it 6'11".
Just so it wouldn't make it freaking hit you. Gosh, I can't stand that. But
where you get the butt of the rod caught in your hoodie.
Yeah, that drives me nuts, dude. It'll catch that pocket every time, won't it?
Yeah.
But I put like, the hardest part was getting the parabolic bend out of it, but still being able to work your jerkbait right. But then I wanted it for bigger, like to be able to hoss fish.
Okay.
Like,
so parabolic bend is for the fighting of the fish, not for the action of the jerkbait.
Correct.
The tip
is
for the action.
Yes. And then once they hit it, you want that good parabolic bend, but I wanted a little bit of I hate those noodle rods.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts. Like, then you don't have any control over the fish.
Because if you catch it next to a brush pile or something, and once you go back in there, it just goes.
Yeah. So the hardest part was getting enough backbone with the parabolic. I don't know. It's frustrating. I was like, I need it stiffer but softer.
So they just send blanks, and you would go fish and just be like, nope, this is what I don't like. And then they send it back, and you say, you got this right, but you have to change this. And then eventually you got one where you were like, I think this might be it.
Yeah. I think it took 7 or 8 going through them. Yeah. But we got it. Dude, it is dialed. Then I made like a minnow rod.
You did?
Yeah.
What makes a good minnow rod for you?
For me is the super soft tip, but then I put more backbone on it. So you can drive those bigger hooks, because I'm usually using like the 3/0 and 4/0 hooks. So it's got that soft tip where you can shake it and it actually bounces it. It's super light, but then it's got the backbone.
What was your minnow to jerkbait ratio this year?
I don't know. I weighed in 1 fish on a minnow at Smith. I did weigh a few at Champlain, like one day, 3 or 4.
So not like,
other than that,
not minnow heavy.
Dude, no.
That's
I
interesting.
might have weighed in 4 or 5 all year on it.
Just because you're more of a jerkbait guy, or because of the schedule?
Because it was too cool to do. I don't know. I'm weird like that. When it started becoming so popular, I was like, I don't like this. Everybody's out in the middle doing it. Yeah.
So you would intentionally avoid the minnow bite, and almost won Angler of the Year.
Yeah. Because like the whole, like Toledo Bend, like, I don't know if you remember that one. Everybody's doing the minnow thing in the same spot. And then it's like, look on the map. Oh, there's Hamner down there by itself throwing a big jig. Yeah. I hate a crowd with a passion.
Huh.
But yeah. When everybody's sitting there like Smith, freaking ripping a big spoon all day. Everybody else is out in the middle throwing a minnow.
Except for Taku. He was throwing like a hamster.
Dude, that one got me. Did you know Smith has freshwater jellyfish?
And apparently the 6-pounders eat it.
Yeah, my wife showed me like a TikTok like after the tournament. That was the biggest like light bulb moment.
Oh, it does have freshwater jellyfish?
Yeah, it has the freshwater jellyfish.
Oh, wait, you're being dead serious.
Yeah, straight up. Smith Lake has freshwater jellyfish. And my wife was like, what? There's jellyfish in Smith Lake? And I did a whole deep dive into it. Look at that thing. The bait that Taku was using was like that clearish blue tinted hue. It's freaking jellyfish.
I'm trying to find a picture of it. I do see a article here that says jellyfish in Alabama. Well, you may think that's what you see on the shores of Smith Lake Park at first glance. The truth is something much more realistic. Pictures surfaced Friday. Creatures turned out to be, oh God, this is going to be bad for pronunciation. A colonial aquatic invertebrate known as a bryozoans. So we will Google that.
What was that?
Did you do this?
Yeah, but like, Yeah, it's not a jellyfish that you like have in
Is it edible?
the sea. I don't know.
Well,
What does
wonder
it
if
look
they
like?
eat it.
Does it look like a jellyfish?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's. Yeah, why wouldn't they eat it? But does that not look like a stupid little fuzzy?
Yeah.
Clear fuzzy
I'll show you
thing?
what I got in Japan. I got like a couple packs of all the crazy stuff. I'll let you look through it. I have no idea. I haven't touched a single pack of it. The only thing that I put in studio was this, which are that's pretty standard now. Don't open them.
Looks like a jellyfish.
But that's just the dice rubber.
Yeah.
And the standard dice rubber. And then these. Don't open those either.
What?
I spent like $18 on a pack of those.
You got to catch a fish on it.
I can't open it, dude. I only got one pack.
Well, that was stupid.
So that is, does it say 1/256 of the actual size of that alien creature?
Yes.
Did you put
1 to
those dice rubbers in
261.
your pocket?
Yeah, they're gone.
They can't be. I only bought 3 packs.
But it's got Japanese writing. And
But
stuff.
it goes
You don't even know how to read
specifically
it.
it's specifically for my background here.
How is there not like botulism growing in that live well water?
Because it's sealed.
Oh,
It was sealed, and then it was notary public actually watched the whole thing go down and then actually signed it. That was
pretty
from
cool.
when he won the classic. I should have done that with you this year,
Yeah, should have.
but I wasn't backstage. You know what I was doing when you won the classic? I was in the top
Rodeo?
row drinking a $13 beer, eating a $9 hot dog.
Heck yeah.
As far back away.
like
I always
that.
like to do that every
Yeah,
single
just
one.
get out
Now
of
that I
there.
don't have to work do interviews or anything at it. I take the final day of the classic in every year for the last 7-8 years as a fan, and I go up and I buy the biggest beer or drink that they have. I go to the very top row that I can get to, and I sit there and I watch it from start to finish. Turn my phone off, and that's it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to get there.
I thought I was at Grand.
So cool.
I was top 10 after that Bass Nation
I
at
saw
Grand.
that.
So I went to the grocery store. I was staying at a really badass little Airbnb, and I'm literally I got stuff for breakfast, and I walked past the freaking tea section. I kid you not on this, and I bought a gallon of Milo's. I never even opened it. I bought a gallon of Milo's tea, and I put it in the garage. And then Courtney got there, my girlfriend, and she's like, "Well, you're not a what's with the tea?" And I was like, had to buy it, man. There was
Felt
zero,
right.
yeah, there was zero chance that I could not have a championship event on Grand and not have that in the fridge.
That's so cool.
Every spot that you fished in the classic that was on TV, this was 240 boats, had at least 25 to 30 boats in it at all times during that tournament.
Sorry to the locals that actually fished those spots.
Where I wanted to fish and stuff where I fished, I saw maybe 4 boats the entire event.
Oh, you're welcome.
I was not in that area, and I was asking someone, I was like, did I screw up or something? Because there's 250 boats out here, and I have not seen anybody in 2 days. And they're like, oh, you haven't been here. And I was like, no. So
That's wild.
in the tournament, because I only practiced 1 day for that, but in the tournament, as I was driving from takeoff down, it was a parking lot.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to go back there and just see what it's like now.
Yep.
Those fish are probably so scared of freaking jerkbait.
You want to see some cool Japanese stuff?
I
look at-
love Japanese stuff.
So this is oh, dude, I'll have to show you this stuff after. And when you have to get back, your boat's going to be done today, and then
We're
you're hitting
good.
the water, right?
yeah.
Look at
hopefully.
this. This is what line are you with?
We'll see.
You can't keep
What is
that either
this?
because it's part of the 5-pack. That is visible tomato, Sunline visible tomato. That is actually one of their best sellers over in Japan.
Why?
It's for some saltwater fish. I don't ask me. I just thought it was badass that it was named visible tomato.
What do you mean for saltwater fish?
It's for a specific, so they have 65 lines over there. 65 to 80 different lines. That line is specifically for type of saltwater fish that they fish for over there. I'm not sure why it's colored like that. I mean, it is traffic cone orange.
I mean, it's bright. So what, you remember like the old Cajun line?
Yeah.
Like the red
Yeah.
is supposed to be invisible or whatever?
Yeah, if red is transparent, it disappears underwater.
So they claim?
Or if it's
Or
translucent.
is it true?
Yeah. It had the little, I do remember the old Cajun one.
So I'm wondering, like, that's what I was wondering, if that was like what they were going for that, or.
I have no idea. And then I'll show you one more thing. This was pretty cool. So like big old school Rapala guy. So like that's the regular G11. So I was up at Grand Marais, which is my favorite town in Minnesota. Little bitty town. Just a couple places, and we're at a gas station there, and they had these things called beaver flicks, which all it is an octopus.
That sounds dirty.
Yeah, it is. It's an octopus hook with a little bitty chartreuse or orange blade on the back. So when you're fishing your minnow under cork, it gives some. Anyway, I was asking about him because the place had closed down, and the guy's like, "Well, this random guy in line behind me. He's like, I made those. He's like, I've got them out in my truck." And I'm like, sure enough.
Sure.
Like,
I'll come.
Out of the, come out. It was literally like the van and Candy with a small child. And I just followed him straight up. I'm like, I'm walking right there. He's like, and, so he got me on the beaver flicks, and then he breaks open these boxes of original Rapala floaters. And he's like, well, if you're going up to Canada, like that's the F13, right?
Yeah.
The floater 13. Look at that color of F11 that he had. He got me for $18 on that. I'm sure you can buy it some places. That's like a one-off custom painted baby walleye F11. You ever seen that?
I mean, it's got like the dead eyes and everything.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that color or anything?
That's pretty cool.
Isn't that neat?
That's
so I
cool.
bought one and I didn't even open it.
Yeah. No, I'd say that they actually did a good job painting that.
Yeah,
one.
It looks just like
that
just
eyes.
like a baby walleye.
Do they eat baby walleye? Do bass eat baby walleye?
It doesn't matter. This guy sold me on it next to his van.
I'm just curious.
You can see those right there. You can see that walleye pattern. It has to be. I don't know if it was like a special run, because if you look on the side, it says on the bottom it says F11 live walleye.
So I do got a question. Just talking about what smallmouth eat. So gobies, obviously they eat them full of protein or whatever.
Yeah.
What would happen if you like just fried that?
A goby?
Yeah. Is it like just a little protein ball? Just fry it whole?
No, I would think you would want to cut the head off. I would treat it like remember they used to call like the channel catfish like peanuts, and they're the ones that are like 14, 15 inches where you cut the head off, and then you gut them, and then you skin them, and then you just fry them whole.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's how I would attempt to eat a goby.
Is there a little squid? We need to try goby. Anybody that's tried goby, reach out.
Because it would probably just fall right off if they even have rib bones. I would imagine that any of the bones would get fried.
Yeah, they're so tiny. I want to try it.
But I would want to skin them if you could.
Just like a little bite.
Not with the head, though.
Just a little nugget.
The fins would be very crunchy and delicious.
I think it all would be. If it's that good to smallmouth, it's got to be pretty good.
Here. There's this place.
I'll go down a rabbit hole with you, Matt.
You can Google catch and cook goby. How do you spell goby?
Goby?
Catch and cook goby. We ate around goby, Detroit River fishing. I think that's a guy who just ate it raw. Did this fish ruin the Great Lakes?
No, it did not.
Thea and goby fish. Tilapia catch and cook. There's really not much out there. Oh. Catch and cook goby.
Looks delicious.
Here's a man frying them. Here, we'll share that with our viewers. There it is, right there.
This show just took a turn
So
for the
there's
worse.
the gobies. He's literally frying them whole. Cut the head off. Didn't show. Kept the skin on it. Looks like.
I'm having to watch it like from your little plaque that's behind you.
Added a little bit, and
You
it
went to
doesn't
college?
doesn't show him eating. See, those are gobies. They kept the head on.
Told you. Fry 'em up.
I did go to college, University of Oklahoma. You know what they did about 4 weeks ago?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was stupid. We sucked.
Dude,
That was-
I had
that was
tickets to
embarrassing.
go to that game and didn't go.
Thought it was going to be a blowout like
we
it
were
was.
sitting here and we were going to go hang out with Brad Hallman at the tailgate.
Yeah.
And then we found last minute cheap tickets for like $150 in the nosebleed section a piece, which, you know, everything else was insane. But as it got closer and closer, the tickets got lower because you kept sucking and sucking.
Yeah.
And then we didn't freaking go. And it would have been night in Norman. I was very disappointed that we stormed the field. An establishment such as OU with
That's embarrassing.
yeah, it is with what eight national championships, 7 Heisman Trophy winners, 54 conference championships,
Yeah. Y'all beat like a 7-2
or
team
more
at the
than
time.
that. Yeah, home of the 47 game winning streak.
We just lost to Vanderbilt and then y'all
Historic
stormed the
Owen
field.
should not have stormed, but it is what it is.
Is that just the cool thing to do these days? All the college kids.
That was the day that everyone tried to plant the flag and storm the field.
The whole plant the flag thing.
That started with Baker, OU.
Yeah.
That's because
That was pretty cool.
Ohio State did it and sang their song on our field. So when we smoked them in the shoe,
That was pretty
thanks
cool.
for coming out.
Baker was, yeah.
He still is. He's still balling. All right, let's take our final break of the show. When we come back, I've got like 20, 25 questions. We'll rapid fire through it. We'll pick some winners, then we'll let you get back to your baby that's getting rigged by Scott and the boys at the Bass Tank.
It's going to be sweet.
It is going to be sweet.
Jackson
BTL, Justin
Crappie.
Hamner in studio. We'll be back right after this.
Roll Tide.
Boomer Sooner.
Your early morning mentality is your every hour mentality. All gas, no brakes. Focus, purpose, power. Destined for the water, but confident everywhere else. A calming buzz before the storm, truth of nature itself. You can't catch lightning in a bottle. There's a limit out there, but it's not with your gear. Unrelenting power delivery. Unparalleled weight savings. Keeping you on the water, whether you run a 9.9 or outscoping your best 5. In this rare air, there's power in the silence. It's a mindset, thinking only of the things that matter and freeing your mind from the things that you trust.
This is Gamakatsu's new Nano Alpha line of hooks. If it looks familiar, that's because they are. It's the same shapes and sizes in the round bend, in the EWG, and in the new Horizon head that you know and love from Gamakatsu. But there are a couple new features with this Nano Alpha, which is this little green label that you see on the packaging. First off, 2 times faster hook penetration. That's because of the Nano Alpha smooth coating on it. And also it is 4 times more corrosion resistant. Check it out, Nano Alpha.
I've been using Sunline Shooter for the majority of my career. Millions of dollars made, lots of bass caught, and the gnarly, gnarly stuff. If you need a abrasion resistant, tough fishing line for the really, really mean stuff, Sunline Shooter is for you.
Welcome back, BTL on a Wednesday. The one and only Justin Hamner in studio. And Justin was talking about the St. Jude tournament. We got some really cool stuff that we're doing coming up with that this year. Potentially at the Classic at Fort Worth that we'll be able to announce soon, that if you're on the fence about attending that Classic, this might push you over the edge a little bit. Plus, then
I'll probably be there.
yeah, no, you'll be at this event. We're working with some Elite Series. It's awesome. Just the people have gotten on board with that, and then this year also rooming on the opens. I think everyone, if they haven't, I'll say it, rooming with Matt Steffen and the opens this year, and Blake Schroeder, who I roomed with last year. He's freaking awesome. If you know him, he's one of those dudes who like came on that I didn't know, and then you find out later he's won like 3 BFLs, like on Rayburn, like one of those kids who's like really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You ever been around someone who doesn't realize how good they are because they're just kind of getting into the serious tournament fishing, but they'll like say stuff or do stuff to where you'll just be like, dang, that guy's like really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he doesn't even, to him, it just makes total sense, but it's like a ballsy move that makes total sense to him, or he finds fish that you had never even considered looking at.
Yeah.
That's Blake.
That's fun.
And
so you're going to have
like,
2 roommates that make the elites
super
again?
low key, super mellow. He was in the mix this year, but like, you know, he went and did something stupid at, not stupid. He went and did something very risky at St. Clair, which based on this conversation was smart, but it was like, you know, you get there and there's a condition. Well, if you've never faced that condition before, you don't know that you need to just be like, it's done. So, you know, you burn 6 hours there, but you'll never do that again.
Dang,
Or, you know what I mean? Like just stuff that you have to learn along the way. And I mean, just a couple of decisions and he'd have been on the Elite
That's what I was
Series
about to
this
say.
year.
So without that one slip up at St. Clair?
He had one other deal like that at the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Lacrosse, and he does it like power fishing too. He's like a mix. He's like a really good mix of, he ain't afraid to go against the scopers on the bank, but then he's also not afraid to dip out and catch one on a Nico or minnow or a drop shot and then go right back up to the bank. It's a good combination.
It's a very good
very dangerous combination. And then also Miles Berghoff. So there'll be 4 of us this year for that Division 2 of the Opens.
That'd be good room. And
yeah, it'll be fun. And plus we got multiple cooks now. So we'll have smokers, charcoal, and gas with beef, wild game. Like, dude, that's the biggest part of it, is being comfortable and being able to wind down in the night and not just sit there and worry about crap.
Yeah.
In my
that's
opinion,
the hardest part. Like, so like Patrick's parents go to all the elites, and his dad, Todd.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So his mom and dad go to all the elites, and I mean, they usually like, we'll have to just survive for a couple of days of practice. But when they get there, Todd's like freaking cooking all out. You get off the water after, you know, tournament day. He's got the whole spread ready. That man can cook. Straight up Southern fried chicken. Just
all right. We're gonna fast track questions because we're already an hour and 15 in here, and then we're gonna randomly pick one of these. Let me make sure there weren't any more.
I like that jail question.
Mm-hmm.
I like that jail question. I think he should be the winner.
It was Ben. He can get an autographed hat from you anytime.
No, he can't.
Yes, he
pay
can.
for that.
I'm just scrolling back through.
I want to go film a video with him. That'd be cool.
With Ben?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's just like a question you got to ask.
I asked him. He said we could. I want to go like brim fishing.
Why didn't you follow up?
Because I don't have his number. I don't know how to get in touch with him.
You don't have Ben's number. You fish against him every day.
No. Dude, I'm a hermit. I don't talk to nobody. Really.
All right. I got 31 questions here. I don't know if we'll go through them. Nick, have you ever accidentally or intentionally tried tasting bait fuel?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like there's ads where I put like the little stick, whatever, like chapstick on my
so that
face.
would be like he applies it on his lips
yeah,
at a tournament. So no taste.
A little bit. Like you can taste like a little bit of a salty taste, but yeah. Not much.
Dave wants to know, did you finally get a deal with Milo's for 25?
No.
That's disappointing.
So disappointing.
I thought that was.
I mean, yeah.
I thought that was a done deal.
What they offered, just that wasn't.
That was the last time I talked to you. You were like, dude, they wanted to give me like 6 months for T vouchers or something.
Yeah, which is cool, but like, come on, dude. I had like a whole Google Analytics of like their sales, dude, for the second day of the Classic to like 3 days after was their highest sales of tea of the year besides 4th of July.
So Nick wants to start a hashtag boycott Milo's tag.
Yes.
You can't do that.
Winner.
You can't do
Winner.
that, but it's still
So good though.
all right. That was a good question.
That was a good question.
Keep track of these. So then we'll pick one of your favorites. I'm just reading them for the first time too. So if there's one in here you don't want to answer. Justin, from an angler's perspective in bass, is the drama really as bad as it is portrayed in social media?
Nowhere near it. Like, if we're just like, wait, what happened? And then it's like, it starts getting blown up just by everybody else. And then all of us are like, wait, is like, what of that is even true? And yeah, no. It ain't.
Honey bun toasted or microwaved?
I haven't had it toasted. Is that a thing?
I have no idea. I thought maybe it was.
Oh, I
didn't think
love
that'd
just
be
straight throwing it in the microwave, make that little plastic bag blow up.
DC Bassman, what body of water is on your bucket list?
Rainy Lake. I want to go to Rainy Lake and get lost. Isn't it Rainy Lake? Lake of the Woods? Lake of the
one
Woods.
Gussie lives on is Lake of the Woods.
The one where it's just like a million islands and you just...
It's every lake up there. I think it's Lake of the Woods.
Okay, I want to go there.
I feel like that would be a fantastic opportunity next year to do some off-season filming with two Classic champs.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
Do you
cool.
have any sponsors in common with him?
Not anymore.
What
Unfortunately.
lure did you catch your first bass with? Kyle would like to know.
Carolina rigged 5-inch zoom chartreuse pepper lizard on a Carolina rig. Yeah.
Was it big?
Heck no, it was like Tuscaloosa. It was like 10-inch spotted
But
bass.
you remember it.
Oh yeah, I remember. Like that was the first, because I remember going to like, we would always eat at my grandparents every night. My grandmother cooked, but yeah, I remember going to like my granddaddy and just freaking out because I caught it like all on my own when I was like, I think it was 6, and it was like my cast, freaking caught him by myself. I mean, I caught other fish, but like, yeah.
Back to it. Do you like to crappie fish? Rob asked that.
Yes. I'm not crazy like you are. I'm more of like
I'm nuts, dude.
You're nuts. Like, I don't go the hardcore going for 4-pound crappie. Like, no. But like back home, I mean, they'll be just stacked under some bow docks, and I love like shooting the jig under there.
Yeah,
that's pretty fun.
I wish I could actually talk about it like I want to.
You go hard.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, like I'll show up to a bass tournament and just be like, I got kind of the starting lineup like lined up. Like if it's big, I'll be like dialed in. But like if I know I'm crappie fishing in 2 days, I'll have like all my stuff like, I mean, meticulous.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Just so someone else can sell it.
I do it when it's time to eat some crappie.
And I release them.
So good.
Scott wants to know, does a high-profile tournament like the Classic intimidate you, motivate you, or change your approach on how you make decisions on the fly?
The motivate, absolutely, and the decision-making. So that was actually probably one of the other big reasons I did so good during the season, was keeping that mentality of nothing matters but first. But that also goes back to not having to worry about points. So put a little star by that question. That was a good question. I don't know if you can do that, but
yeah. Hold on. Worst lake the elites have been to since you started fishing this?
Sabine River.
And why?
Because it's gonna probably be one at the boat ramp. There's 300 miles you can run either way, but the biggest fish are at the boat ramp because everybody goes to Louisiana in the tournaments and brings them back.
Cameron wants to know, did you ever consider switching to MLF?
No. No.
Okay. One
Just
word answer.
Nope.
If you had to fight an Elite Series angler, who are you fighting?
Sorry, I went into a lot of detail there. No. Sorry, go ahead.
If you had to fight an Elite Series angler, who are you fighting?
Oh, crap. Lee Livesey.
That's
If
okay.
I'm going to get beat up, might as well be somebody that's supposed to beat me up.
Alan would like to know if you could change one rule in bass, what would it be?
The stupid dead fish rule. Don't penalize us twice. Drives me nuts.
I've been on that on the opens too.
Drives me nuts.
If you can't cull it, that's a penalty.
Yeah, that's
big more
penalty.
penalty enough. Then why are you taking something that costs its life and then making it less valuable over something that, with all of the things that we have now, you obviously couldn't keep from happening.
Dude, we are doing everything.
And they just arbitrarily, like, some tournaments it's a pound, some tournaments you can't weigh it in, some tournaments it's a quarter pound, some tournaments it's 2 ounces, it varies across from tournament to tournament. It's maddening.
Makes no sense.
I've never had it like screw me or impact me or anything like that, but I still don't understand why they hit you twice for a dead fish.
Yeah,
I
did at Smith this year. Like it hurt me probably 2.5 pounds. Heck, last year at Murray actually cost me the cut, making the cut. I had like a freaking lime burger I caught first thing that morning on a fluke.
I wonder, you know what bass needs? Like, you guys need like an angler committee that you could like bring that up to, and then you guys could all vote on it, and then you could like approach bass with it like, hey, this is a 90% deal that we feel like this should change. Just an idea.
That'll never work.
Justin, if you are Bert, who is your Ernie? That's got to be Patrick.
What? Yeah.
If you are Bert, who is your Ernie?
What is that even referencing?
I'm just asking the questions.
Oh, is that Sesame Street?
Yes, Bert and Ernie. Hey, Bert. Hey, Bert. Can you get me a glass of water? Remember that? Sure.
I never watched it, but I remember
Bert,
the little
you can
yellow
get the
thing.
water yourself.
I don't know what they act like.
Good night.
Yeah, I guess
Good night,
Patrick.
You don't remember Bert and Ernie?
Actually,
one's
it's got to be
orange and one's yellow.
Yeah, I know it now. I don't know what they acted like, but it's actually probably my Jimbo, like my best friend growing up, because everybody
fishy.
we like mumble so bad, and everybody's like, y'all just have your own language when we're talking together, just mumbling something we can understand each other. So yeah, I'm going Jimbo. Patrick's like too opposite of me.
What is one thing that you either didn't expect to happen, that happened, or that didn't happen after doing something that only 54 people in the world have accomplished, which I'm assuming is winning the Classic? So what's something that happened after the Classic that you didn't expect to happen, or that you did expect to happen that didn't? I think.
I expected to get that Milo's deal. That's for dang sure. What I didn't expect to happen was to be sitting like in the pit, whatever, on NASCAR, like with the headsets on. That was nuts. Like literally like two of the little pit, whatever the little stand things.
Yeah.
Like I'm in there, like the guy, there's like three
it's
guys.
The guys that are spotters and the
they have
that.
freaking like 6 computers. Each of them have 2 computers each, and they're running all the analytics on the car and stuff. And like I got the headset on, listening to what like the whole conversation between the driver and the guys running it. Freaking Michael Jordan was like 2 whatever spots over
because he's a team owner. Did you get to meet him?
No, I turned him down. He wanted an autograph. I ain't got time for him.
If you had to pick one Elite Series angler to replace DeBoer to lead the Tide, who would it be?
To what?
To replace their head coach at Alabama. One Elite Series angler to lead the Tide going forward.
Matt Herron. He'd whip
you
them
would
boys.
You would rub the
shape.
wishbone. You would be like
the wishbone or the option.
you would be like freaking Barry in the 80s with the Sooners, just right up the middle every single time.
Trust me, it's gonna work this time. Just beat them to death.
Your predictions for the first big storyline of the 25 season.
The first big storyline, dude. I hope it's not
Let
any
me
of
know
this
if any of
negative
these
crap.
stand out to you. Tell me, like I said, I got one star right now.
Oh crap! I forgot again. I don't know what the storyline would be. Hopefully, it's like, yeah, not a clue. Just don't make it negative. Just please. I hope it's not
Chris would like to know if you're going to put out more content on YouTube next year.
negative. Yes, a lot more. A lot more. Got a guy, freaking my camera dude, like trying to get him just full time. It's been hard, but I think we're going to be able to get it. Just get that faster.
And Chuck just mentioned this is out. Like if Milo's doesn't, y'all sweet tea. I mean, there's
I've
that
had
connection.
a lot of people.
There's that connection to the fishing there.
Yeah. I need to talk to Darian.
Yeah, that'd be baller.
That'd be pretty cool. Hey, wasn't he just on Shark Tank?
Yeah, I think they got a deal.
Okay, so he's got some
He
money
said,
to
"Hell yeah,
play
they're
with.
rolling in it."
Let's go.
Yeah. So you are going to put more content on YouTube.
Yes.
Oh, do you? This is a field size question for you. You ask if they need to keep the field as is, or maybe start reducing it to make it more live viewer friendly. Basically, what BPT's doing, where they're just like, "Hey, thanks for coming out, but your services are no longer required on the BPT."
Yeah. I like
You
where
good with
we're at.
100?
I'm good with 100. Like, even if we had 60, it's not like we're going to have 60 cameras.
Yeah. Would you trade your classic win for a 2025 AOY?
Nope. No.
Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah. Like, the
I
classic.
think a lot of guys would say that when it comes down to it. I think every single guy who hasn't won a classic yet would pick, even though the AOY might be more prestige. I can't imagine a single angler that would pick the Angler of the Year over the classic if it was an either or. Do you?
No. I think that the AOY is more of the bragging side of it, of like, it's because it's just so much harder to do.
But dude, there's a bunch
But
of guys
it's
that
like-
stay in this 10 years past when they should financially, physically, or mentally, and it's for that one reason.
Yeah, because it truly is
chasing
life changing.
They're not even that, they're chasing that damn trophy.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because if you think about how many guys, I mean, have gotten close, like you've been close before.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how many guys have gotten close
It's that freaking
and
carrot.
tasted it and gotten it and been on that stage and been there, and then they're not anymore.
That sucks.
Like, I think that is
Yeah.
the main reason. That's the main reason why Bass is so strong. They have the freaking classic. I don't care
Yeah.
what other organization comes around. No one, the thing you grew up dreaming of, you're 10 years away from someone who's fishing who grew up dreaming of winning Red Crest. That's just a fact of the matter. It'll get there maybe eventually, but I don't think so, because even when they had the Forest Wood Cup, they did a great job of making that prestigious. And it was a prestigious tournament.
Still wasn't the classic.
Not the classic.
Yeah. No, I don't think anybody would. Honestly, I don't think.
I
anybody
can't
would
think of a
trade that.
single.
That's a good question.
You want to star that one?
Yeah, we're gonna have to start that one. I mean, just because of everything that comes along with the classic too. Like, for one, that's like the dream when you're growing up as a kid. Like, you pretending that you just caught the fish that won you the Bassmaster Classic, and freaking, I'll tell you, the greatest thing is when you're coming into that arena and you get to pull a fish out of the live well and freaking hold it up. Oh my god.
Does that seem like it takes forever, or does it seem like in a blink of the eye that whole arena thing is done? Like that final day, like when you're doing all that, did time slow down or did time speed up? Was it an out of body experience looking
I
back
don't
on it?
remember a lot of it. Like the whole confetti, like doing the snow angels in the confetti on the front deck with my little girl. Like, people were like telling me the next day, like, oh, doing the confetti angels, like, that was so cool. I was like, yeah, my daughter's adorable, whatever. Like, no, you did it. I'm like, what? Like,
So you
I had to go
legit
back. I
blacked out.
legit did not remember that. I yeah, like, there's a lot of that night that, yeah, I don't remember.
Not because you were
And then I had
inebriated
a
or anything,
baby.
just because.
Oh yeah, just
of-
like, dude, it was a freaking crazy. If somebody was, I know there was people backstage. If somebody was backstage when Adam weighed in, I know, because there was a bunch of people like lined up right behind the curtain, and they were like filming me while he was weighing in. If anybody's got that footage, can you send it to me? That was,
Who was filming you? Just random
it's
people?
just random people with cell phones.
So that was right before you walked out on stage. That was the
Yeah.
last moment of your life before being a classic champ.
Yeah, but that's also when, like, as soon as I heard his weight, like,
You knew you'd won the
I
classic.
knew I'd won it, and I lost it. But it was so cool because nobody was talking to me.
Mhm.
Everybody, like, I'm just sitting there by myself. That was one of the coolest things I do remember.
Have you even looked at the schedule for next year?
Yeah, I don't remember it.
Okay. There was another good question.
I know there's 3 title fisheries, and I suck on title fisheries.
Yeah. Did you get the win and bait situation straightened out on the classic? How did that ever? Was there a final story to that? Because you were throwing a couple different baits and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what you're asking. I know what I throw.
Yeah. Who are you with in 25? I guess is the question that when it comes to that.
I'm gonna make my own jerk bait.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be so cool.
Do you have a hard bait sponsor right now?
Not right now.
Okay.
No.
That answered the question.
Yep, I'm gonna make a jerk.
Did
bait.
I
It's
say
gonna
that?
be
Did I
sick.
answer that diplomatically?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
I mean, you ain't getting in trouble.
No.
I'm excited about that. Like,
Do you have a company that you're going to make it with?
yeah,
Oh, sweet.
it's gonna be bad. Like, they literally told me, like, don't care about price point, money.
Just make it.
Make the best thing you can possibly make, and gave me like 2 guys. One of them's like just stupid bait designer. Other one's like real good with the whole computer designing, and like, yeah, dude, it's gonna be stupid. I'm getting to finally make it. It's gonna be like 3 jerk baits of what I want in them. I'm taking a little.
Are we like a couple years away from that though? Year and a half, probably.
I'm hoping by the end of next year. Should be out by the end of next year.
Pete said, get the story about the giant you caught at Fork.
What? Pizza?
Pete Brandt. That's the name of the guy who asked the question.
Oh.
He said, get the story about the giant you caught at Fork.
Oh, that fish was so cool. So it was on that pocket I was talking about earlier where I saw, the big one. So I went in there day one of the tournament, and I saw it like suspending on a stump or whatever. It was like halfway, 3/4 way up. Throw the jerkbait by it, freaking just shoot straight to the bottom. Like, oh, that's weird. Just like freaked it out. Next day, roll in, sitting on the same stump, throw by it, does the same thing. Day 3, same thing. Roll in there day 4, and she was sitting. I went in there first thing that morning. She was like midway through by it, went to the bottom.
Same fish.
Same giant
Look
blob
the same area.
on the exact same stump. So yeah. So anyways, day 4, I came back that afternoon, and instead of like being suspended on it, she was sitting up on top of it. Through the jerkbait, hits the water, like 20, 30 foot past it. As soon as it gets 10 foot from the stump, she comes off and meets it, going the other. So if you watch, like, I'm working it to the left, whatever, she hits it, and I have to she legit pulls me to the front. Like, I had to walk up with her because she was going the other way. It was nuts how aggressive she got all of a sudden. But yeah.
Would you rather meet Bigfoot or an alien?
Alien. No doubt.
Why? You don't think that's more dangerous? You don't know what an alien can do. You kind of know what Bigfoot can do.
Yeah, he can rip your face off.
Yeah, some would say Bigfoot is an alien. That's why I haven't seen him.
Dang.
So if you meet
So you're
Bigfoot,
meeting
you're also
both.
meeting an alien.
Well, if that's the case, then that'd be cool. I just want to know what else is out there.
Hey,
There's
Matt,
aliens,
is Matt
by the way.
Steffen joining your house in the opens? Yes. Just for Division 2.
Put a star by that question.
Have you ever seen or used any new fishing technology prototype stuff that we don't know about yet?
Yes. Yes.
And the reason you don't know about it is because you can't talk about it.
Yes. I mean, dude, this is so cool. Actually, people caring about what I think about products now. Because I've always been so weird about like tinkering with baits and stuff. And yeah, now just being able to play with it. It's
Ryan
cool.
would like to know what your weakest technique is that you would like to be better at.
A wacky worm. That's, yeah, definitely more. Because I don't have the patience of like, I
Who
don't know.
throws a
why.
wacky worm on the Elite Series the most? Is
John
it McKinney?
Cox. John Cox.
Wacky worm, not a Nico worm. Wacky worm. Oh yeah, it is John Cox.
Yeah.
Wacky worm's the old school. Wacky worm to me is a bait that power fishermen can use and get away with without being made fun of. Is that not a fair assessment of a wacky worm, like a real like wacky rig Cinco or something?
Yeah. Why is that?
That's like the only thing that like if you're with old school power guys and you throw, they're like, nice choice.
Nice choice. Yeah.
Otherwise, they're
respect.
like, get out of my boat.
Yeah. I think it's because of John Cox.
That's
Because
the
he
truth,
made
though,
it
is
cool.
it not? Is there
It's-
anything else that's like
100%.
that?
Yeah.
You
But-
put a nail weight in it, get out of my boat.
Yeah. Like, no, we ain't playing that.
You put a band on it, get out of my boat.
But at the same time, have you ever seen like Hackney throw a wacky worm? I mean, yes, I'm sure he's thrown it, but like,
Not off the top of my head.
that's,
A couple more questions, just literally. Dennis Miller. Do you think winning the Classic made you fish more aggressively, which gave you a better finish in the Angler of the Year class?
100%. Yeah. That goes back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yep. And then Ryan wraps it up with, what angler do you want to beat every tournament?
Patrick. Definitely Patrick, because then I don't have to book the next Airbnb. And if I beat Patrick, I probably did pretty dang good.
We'll add this one also to the start for the last question. Pete wants to know if you admire Steve Kennedy's prowess with a glide bait.
Yes.
You talked with him, you fished with him.
I
He's another
talked to him a
Alabama guy.
lot.
Really?
I love Steve Kennedy. Just talking to him about like how giddy he gets about fishing is still so cool. But yeah,
He's throwing that little Petey thing, right? That's his swim bait.
he's got a bunch of different. So just quick story about that. One morning before the tournament started, he comes out and he was tying on a glide bait, whatever. And he's like being real careful with him, like, just pull up, start talking to him. And he was acting weird about the bait and like trying to hide it and stuff, but also like didn't want to mess it up. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I'm still trying to let it dry. He got up that morning before takeoff and airbrush painted this freaking glide bait, like, because he saw something in the water the day before. Freaking crazy.
And one more question: have you ever ice fished?
Yeah. That is boring. That is an excuse to go drink beer.
Okay, you haven't you've gone ice fishing, but you haven't gone ice fishing. So like my buddy Adam from the Crappie Chronicles and stuff, they drill 150 holes a day. They walk 3 to 5 miles on the ice, and then you drill a hole and you scope, and you're like, they're 60 feet that way. And then they go and they drill, and then when that school moves, they follow them around the ice. So you
I want to do that.
That's ice fishing.
See, I started like trying to do that when I went.
Yeah.
I just like ended up taking the little auger and like going and just drilling holes, stick
Yep.
the live scope down.
Yeah, no, there's two
I wanna
types.
do
There's
that.
types where you just do it and you wait for them, and then, but what they're doing, the way that it's transformed the ice fishing industry is they're actively hunting,
Searching for fish.
and then you have
That's
different
cool.
ice conditions on. I don't know anything about it. Just I've gone up there 2-3 times now.
Yeah, no,
But,
that would be fun.
You know, you're hunting it. I mean, the cool thing is when you're 40 feet away and you've got a flasher down and the guy's 50 feet away and he's like, here it comes, lift it up. Oh my God, it's about whack. And you can like see the auger go through the ice, like right over the school.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
All right. We have all those questions. You had 2 that were starred. One was Scott Turdo under Bastard Fishing. The what was the high profile tournament? Oh, do you treat a high profile tournament differently? Does a high profile tournament like the Classic intimidate you, motivate you, or change your approach on decision on the fly? Or the question about the Classic or Angler of the Year? Pick one of those. Which one of those did tickle
I like
your
that first one.
The first one?
Yeah.
About does a high profile tournament like Classic intimidate you?
Yeah.
Motivate you or change your approach? All right. That's Scott. I think there's probably 50% chance he's ordered something from the Bass Tank.
Okay. Well,
He keeps an index of the shows
Scott.
because why would the guy who does the shows keep an index? That wouldn't make sense at all, would it?
it's actually Scott Palmer. Congrats.
Yeah. So shoot me an email, matt@basszone.com, which I will then forward to the guys at the Bass Tank. Justin Hamner, Classic Champ autograph, Bass Tank. And then if you've ordered something from the Bass Tank in the past,
I thought we were giving away 2 hats.
we are.
Oh,
And one's a
okay.
random question from all the people that are in the question. So I know you can do it a certain way, but I'm just going to scroll back and forth. I don't have the random generator. I'm sorry. Like I said.
Yeah.
So I'm going to scroll through. I'm keeping this on one. So my mouse is going on all of them. These were all the good questions. And you literally just tell me when to stop and I'll stop.
30 minutes. Okay, just wait. Just soak it in.
There's only 36 questions.
Stop.
It is on DC Bassman. What body of water does Hamner have on his bucket list?
That's still a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions on that.
I
So
think I changed my answer to El Salto. After talking to you, I'm like, dang, I need to go down there.
Yeah, I'm going to bust out a
That'd be
reel
fun.
after this. DC Bassman, matt@basszone.com. Say, that you're the winner of the autographed Hamner hat. I'll forward that on to the Bass Tank. An autographed Bass Tank Justin Hamner hat. This one has Garmin on the side. I don't know what the actual other autographs are. I know you autographed a bunch that some do, some don't. This is the old school logo. It might be. I'm sure you're going to sign a bunch of the new ones
For the right price.
Have you signed them yet?
No.
He'll probably have you signed a bunch of the new ones. So
Yeah, we were working hard yesterday. Dude, me and Scott were there till like 8:30. Like, I can't wait for you to see this. I'll show you some videos.
all right.
It's gonna be so dumb.
Let's pull some music up. 24 season. Mark Menendez talking about the new Bass Elite Angler Committee. As far as it being the last regular show, thank you everybody for the year. It's been amazing. A lot of stuff coming in 2025. If you notice, I've been traveling around a lot, and we got some cool stuff coming down the pipe, and some guys that are getting behind it that are allowing this to happen, to bring more live, to bring more on the water, to bring more shows from locations where I haven't previously been able to do shows. And that is all because of the sponsorship support of Bass Talk Live and BTL, which continue to support it because of the listeners
Freaking
and
killing it,
viewers like
Matt.
you. Thank you. But hell, I love it. I enjoy it. It's
It's
a
so
passion.
fun.
I just had a conversation with Dad about that. Like, if it's a passion and you enjoy it, it doesn't seem like work.
Yeah.
There's days where it seems like work, but as a whole, I enjoy the hell out of it and interacting and talking with all the listeners and viewers and guys like you, one of the good guys in the sport.
It's fun.
By far, the feel-good story of 2024 was Justin
I'm not
Hamner.
poor anymore.
That's part of it. Do you realize, though, good decisions will keep that way. Otherwise, you're gonna have to keep winning classics today.
Oh no, I'm rich forever now.
No, that's just whenever your daughter asks for something, it's just a hard no. No. Nope. But no, feel good story of the year for sure. Easy to root for. Greatly appreciate the time and effort that it took for you to come down in studio. One of the good guys in the sport, and I got a couple more podcasts this year, and you're definitely going to be highlighted in them. I'll tell you what it is off air. I just realized I can't say what it is because it's always a secret, which isn't a secret now. But I said that. I'll probably get a call here in about 20 minutes. Oh well.
Okay. Way to go. Screwed that one up.
All right. I'll show you. You got to tell me what you're dialed in for next year, and I'll show you some secret minnows from Japan. Is that a deal?
Deal.
All right. This has been another edition of BTL Bass Talk Live. Same place, same time tomorrow. Closing out the year with our final day 4 with the man Frank Scalish. See ya.